Hello, I welcome to UPSC Prelims Chaturya series of Shantha Lakshmi IAS Academy, where we will discuss the daily prelims MCQs from the Hindu, Indian Express and PIB. Let's get started. The first question. Consider the following statements with respect to the World Press Freedom Index 2024. It is an annual report released by the global media watchdog Reporters Without Borders. Eritrea topped the ranking. It not only deals with press freedom but also measures the quality of journalism in the countries. How many of the statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. This was in news recently. India's score in the World Press Freedom Index 2024 fell over the last year from 36.62 to 31.28. About this, it is an annual report released by the global media watchdog Reporters Without Borders. It ranks 180 countries on the ability of journalists to work and report freely and independently. The Press Freedom Questionnaire covers 5 categories that were political context, legal framework, economic context, socio-cultural context, and security. Highlights of the 2024 index, it shows an overall decline in press freedom globally and steep rise in political repressions of journalists and independent media outlets, noting that press freedom fell by an average of 7.6 points globally. Norway topped the ranking while Denmark was on the second rank. The countries where press freedom is good are all in Europe, and more specifically within the European Union, which has adopted its first media freedom law. Eritrea was at the bottom of the list, with Syria just ahead of it. It only deals with press freedom and does not measure the quality of journalism in the countries it assesses, nor does it look at human rights violations in general. India's rank improved from 161 in 2023 to 159 in 2024, but this was because other countries had slipped in their rankings. Scores for India dropped in all but the security indicator. India is ranked behind Turkey, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, which are ranked at positions 158, 152, and 150 respectively. So the answer is only one, because Norway topped the ranking, not Eritrea. It only deals with the press freedom, not measures the quality of journalism in the countries. Moving to the next question. With reference to the carbon farming, consider the following statements. Carbon farming is a system of agricultural management that helps the land store more carbon and reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that it releases into the atmosphere. It can incentivize our farmers to shift from improving yields to functioning ecosystems and sequestering carbon that can be sold or traded in carbon markets. Which of the statement given above are not correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. Carbon farming is a name for a variety of agricultural methods aimed at sequestrating atmospheric carbon into the soil and in crop roots, wood and leaves with an aim to increase the rate of carbon sequestration into soil and plant material, creating a net loss of carbon from the atmosphere. Carbon farming is a system of agricultural management that helps the land store more carbon and reduce the amount of greenhouse gases that it releases into the atmosphere. Advantages of the carbon farming: it can incentivize our farmers to shift from improving yields to functioning ecosystem and sequestering carbon that can be sold or traded in carbon markets. It not only improves the health of soils but can also result in improved quality, organic and chemical-free food. It boosts secondary income from carbon credits for the marginalized farmers. So the answer is neither one nor two, because both the statements are correct. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements regarding the participatory notes. These are issued by the Security Exchange Board of India. The P notes holder does not enjoy any voting rights in relation to security or shares. Investments flowing in through participatory notes are considered as a offshore derivative investments. How many of the statement given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. Foreign portfolio investors domiciles at the GIFT International Financial Services Center and the registered with the Securities and Exchange Board of India have been allowed to issue participatory notes. About this, these are often referred to as PNs or P notes. These are financial instruments used by investors and hedge funds to invest in Indian securities, and no registration is required with the Security Exchange Board of India. Investments flowing in through participatory notes are considered as offshore derivative investments. These are issued by the registered foreign portfolio investors to overseas investors who wish to be a part of the Indian stock market without registering themselves directly. While the FIIs have to report all such investments each quarter to SEBI, they need not to disclose the identity of the actual investors. So the answer is only 2, because these are issued by the registered portfolio investors, not SEBI. Moving to the next question. Choose correct one with respect to the Sahyadri Tiger Reserve. It is located in the Sahyadri ranges of the Western Ghats in Maharashtra. The most distinct feature of the Tiger Reserve is the presence of numerous barren rocky and lateritic plateaus, locally called sadas. Which of the statement given above is are correct? One only, two only, both one and two, neither one or two. The Maharashtra Forest Department is gearing up for translocation of a few tigers from the Tadoba Andhari Tiger Reserve in Chandrapur to Sahyadri Tiger Reserve. About this reserve, it is located in the Sahyadri ranges of the Western Ghats in Maharashtra. Notified in 2010 by amalgamating the Chandoli National Park and Koina Wildlife Sanctuary. The region of this tiger reserve includes the area around the Koina Dam and the Varna River and many other small rivers and streams originating from the Western Ghats and flowing into the east. Unique features: it is undulating with steep escarpments along the western boundary. The most distinctive feature of the tiger reserve is the presence of numerous barren rocky and lateritic plateaus locally called sadas with less perennial vegetation and overhanging cliffs on the edges along with numerous fallen boulders with dense thorny bushes. Sahyadri Tiger Reserve is the only place where climax and the near climax vegetations are plentiful and prospects of adverse anthropogenic influence in the future are minimal. Vegetation: the forest cover here is that of moist evergreen, semi-evergreen, moist and dry deciduous vegetation. Flora: there are many medicinal and fruit-bearing trees along with the commercial hardwood trees in the reserve. Fauna: tiger, leopard and some lesser cats along with the wolf, jackal and wild dog. So the answer is both 1 and 2 are correct. Moving to the next question. Consider the following statements about non-banking financial company. A NBFC is a company registered under the Companies Act 1956. NBFC can issue demand deposits like banks. NBFCs does not hold a banking license. How many of these statements given above are correct? Only one, only two, all three, none of the above. NBFCs are increasing their fixed deposits rates to mop up funds that can make up for lower bank borrowings. About this, NBFC is a company registered under the Companies Act 1956, engaged in the business of loans and advances, the acquisition of shares, stocks, bonds, debentures, securities issued by the government or local authority or other marketable securities of like nature, leasing and hire purchase, insurance business, cheat business. It does not include any institution whose principal business is that of agricultural activity, industrial activity, the purchase or sale of any goods or providing any services and sale, purchase, construction of immovable property cannot accept deposits for period less than 12 months and more than 60 months. A non-banking institution, which is a company and has a principal business of receiving deposits under any scheme or arrangements in one lump sum or installments by way of contributions or in any other manner, is also a NBFC. Generally, these institutions are not allowed to take traditional demand deposits from the public. They can only accept time deposits and they do not provide savings or current account facilities. NBFCs cannot offer interest rates higher than the ceiling rate prescribed by RBI from the time to time. The present ceiling is 12.5% per annum. NBFCs also provide a wide range of monetary advice like chit reserves and advances. NBFCs lend and make investments and hence their activities are akin to that of banks. However, there are a few differences as given below. NBFCs do not have banking license. NBFCs cannot accept demand deposits. NBFCs do not form part of the payment and settlement system and cannot issue check drawn on itself. Deposit insurance facility of Deposit Insurance and Credit Guarantees Corporation is not available to depositors of the NBFCs, unlike in case of banks. Unlike banks, NBFCs are not subject to stringent and substantial regulations. The functions of the NBFCs are managed by both the Ministry of Corporate Affairs and the RBI. The RBI has the authority to issue licenses to NBFCs, regulate their operations, and ensure that they adhere to the established norms and regulations. So the answer is only 2, because NBFC cannot issue demand deposits. Thank you. This is the today's session.